How you doing out there, people? This is your boy Marlon Ballard with the Love to Laugh podcast. I am joined by a special guest, man. We've seen this brother in movies. We heard his music. I want y'all to give it up for Ryan Toby, man. Give it up. My man. Hey, man. How you doing, brother?
All is well, man. All is well, man. At the studio here in Atlanta right now. You know what I'm saying? Just putting some work in. Actually working on a Christmas album I wanted to give to the people this year. So
that's what I'm talking about, man. It's good to see you, man. You know, it's been a couple years since we seen you on around or heard your name, man. So definitely, people have been asking. I know you've been on social media, seeing people be like, "Yo, where's the boy from Sister Act?" and all that.
Yeah, for sure. I've been working. They've been hearing me. They just didn't know it was me. I've just been, writing, and producing for other people, so they didn't know it was me. But they've been definitely hearing me.
My man, hey man, so man, we gonna get this thing started. You know, people can't wait. So man, you're originally from New Jersey, man. How was it like coming up in New Jersey?
Oh, it was great, man. I'm from a small town called Willingboro, New Jersey. It's like about 20 minutes from Philly, about an hour and a half south of New York. So growing up in Willingboro was fun because it was like, you had influx of, people from Philly moving to it was like that suburb that young Black families could come and get an affordable home. So it was like, it was a nice little Black suburb that people from New York, people from Philly, was getting out the hood and giving their families a better chance and stuff like that. And so it's a great culture, hip hop, R&B. I mean, it was a little bit of everything was there, you know what I mean? A little bit of that hood element was there, you know what I mean? It's gotten way more hood now, but, when I was growing up, it was pretty fun, man, you know what I mean? And the musical influences were great. And man, just going to Philly, to hang out, going to New York to go shopping and hang out and stuff like that. It was great growing up in Willingboro.
Man, so what's the talent like out there? Were there a lot of singers around you when you came up? Were there more so rapping at the time you came up?
It was everything, man. The talent was insane. I mean, Carl Lewis went to our high school. The Olympic gold medalist. Megahertz, the producer that did, we ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah, me and him grew up together. We went to school together. Mike City, who did Carl Thomas, Wish I Never Met Her, you know what I mean? And Sunshine Anderson, heard it all before. He's from Willingboro. One of the guys from the group Channel Live is from Willingboro. Spark Mad Ism. Mike Zombie on the track that started from the bottom from Drake. He's from Willingboro.
Y'all got talent flowing through that city, man.
Yeah. Wanye from Boys to Men, he graduated from Willingboro High School. City High is from Willingboro. Oh my gosh, the list goes on and on, man. Ty Tribbett, big gospel star, gospel sensation. He's from Willingboro. A lot of us grew up together and went to school together. So, and then man, it's just so much talent. A lot of some NFL athletes came out of my city. I don't know, something in the water, man. Something in the water out there. So I grew up around a lot of singers, a lot of musicians, a lot of dope rappers. It was fun, man. Something in the water. Many more talent.
Okay. You was bred around talent, and pretty much like in my opinion, the most talent has came from the Virginia, Jersey, New York, that area, and that's just like there's something definitely in the water around there, dude. But really, like the things you have done, brother, has been amazing. Like I said, we've been watching you since we were a kid, and then like when Sister Act 2 came out, we was like, man, who is this that you hear blowing like this in this movie? So how did you end up getting in Sister Act 2?
Oh man, I auditioned for that movie. I was working with my first manager at the time named Marvin Thompson, and also this young A&R who was like an executive A&R at RCA Records at the time named Kenny Ortiz. He's the guy that discovered SWV. He also discovered like a young Neptunes and young Pharrell. He was working with them at the time, and he wanted to sign me to a record deal. But he wanted to develop me first. He said, you need a little bit more development. So he had me recording some demos. He was putting me in the studio. Actually, one of the writers that he sent me to go work with, my very first demo I ever recorded was with a young writer, unknown writer named Joe. The singer Joe. Yeah. The singer-songwriter Joe was the cat who wrote my first little demo, man, when I was 14 years old. Joe was like this little young writing ass nigga, man. And he wrote this song for me and stuff like that. And so Kenny then he was trying to get me an audition for Sister Act 2. He heard about the auditions, him and my manager, for Sister Act 2, and they was just looking for kids that could sing in the background, just in the choir and stuff like that. And he was like, yo, you should go. They looking for kids that could sing and dance. You should go. So they got me on the list somehow. I didn't have an agent. I ain't have none of that. And that was the first audition I ever went on in my life. First thing I ever auditioned for, ever. And I had to go to New York, you know, had to sing a song for them, had to read a couple of lines. And yeah, man, they ended up calling me back like, what, 7 times? I think I had 7 or 8 callbacks. And on that final callback, that was when I booked the gig. First time at my first time auditioning for anything.
First movie, first everything. So how was your nerves, you know, when they was like, yo, you got the part? You was like,
I didn't, it was a word. I mean, I didn't know how to feel, because it's like, it's not like I necessarily grew up, you know, dying to be an actor. I wasn't one of those kids, you know. I didn't have that mom that was taking me to auditions and stuff like that. So it was all so new to me. I was just a little kid from Willingboro, you know, grew up singing in church. And, you know, it's like you sing in church on Sunday and then you getting in trouble for rapping and beating on the desk in the lunchroom, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. all for the rest of the week, you know what I mean? So I was just that kid that was just singing and dancing around the way. I was just known for pop locking and all of that, you know what I mean, around the way. So all this talk about being in a movie was like mind-blowing to me. I didn't know how to feel, to be quite honest. It wasn't even real. Sometimes it still doesn't seem real.
And that movie has became a classic over the years. They play it every chance they get. You're in the movie with Whoopi, Lauren,
yeah, Jennifer, yeah.
Yo, so it's talent flowing through that, and we haven't seen, like, we really kind of haven't seen anything like that. Like maybe Fighting Temptation, like something like that. But other, like, besides kids and they're blowing like that, we haven't seen that since.
Yeah.
And man, and then they let you shine in the movie. Like you murdered Oh Happy Day.
Oh, thank you, man.
You murdered that.
Thank you, brother.
And since that has become like a favorite part of the movie, how many people come up to you screaming in your face trying to hit that note?
Oh my gosh. It used to be like at least once a day people would ask me about it. Now, you know, and that was before Instagram. Now on Instagram, I got people who hit me, DMing me all the time. Can you still hit that note? Oh my God, did you really hit that note? This one lady just hit me today. She said, was that in the script? Or did you just do that? Or did you just, you know,
that's a good question, though.
Freestyle it? And I'm just thinking, like, of course it was in the script. It's a movie, you know. I didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, but I knew what she meant, though. You know what I mean? But people ask me about that all the time, brother.
It's, man, because I can't imagine that you just be shopping, want to get some McDonald's. People like, oh, you when Jesus, what? You like, whoa, chill.
Right.
So exactly. Has anybody surprised you and actually hit the note and sounded good doing it?
I've heard a couple people do it. Girl, you know, a couple females I've heard hit it. And I heard one singer, I can't remember his name. I was at a karaoke night one night, but it was in LA, so it was some real singers, you know, real singers there. It was in Hollywood, and it was actually the karaoke night that all the singers go to. So it ain't even a karaoke night. It's like a performance night. You know what I'm saying? And somebody got up there because they knew I was in the building. So they got up there and sang "Oh Happy Day." And he actually hit the note. He went for it. I was like, oh, shit.
I'm about to say, I'm like, they got "Oh Happy Day" at a karaoke night? Like,
yeah. I mean, they got all kind of songs in the karaoke machine these days, bro.
Oh, man. So, like I said, it's a classic movie, and I actually saw it, and it says you wrote Joyful. Like, this is
no. So in Joyful, I wrote the rap part in the breakdown part when the song breaks down and the guys start rapping.
Joyful.
Yeah. I wrote that. I actually wrote that rap.
Man, okay. Damn, man. Just you was flowing with talent. Like I said, they gave you your part. You had your solo part on there, Lauren. Y'all stood out. How did it feel to be, working with a young Lauren Hill at the time?
I mean, Lauren was amazing. I mean, we all knew she was going to do big things. She was amazing even back then, man, as an 18-year-old girl. She was 17 turning 18. She was just amazing, so articulate, so intelligent. I mean, she was gorgeous. She could sing, she could rap, she could dance. And then, she was telling us about this little rap group she was in called the Refugees. And like, yeah, we just shot a video. We about to come out. My rap group about to come out. And it's like, everybody just wait like, yeah, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But man, they came out and, blew up huge. But we all knew it, man. Lauren was special.
Man, and yeah, you're right. She blew up right after Sister Act. Like they came out, I think 94, 95 with the score and everything, and then pretty much from then on, she has became a legend, pretty much in the music industry. Tanya Blount, she came out with her albums. I think she's still out here blowing. She's become a staple in the gospel area. So since you have done your Sister Act 2, which is a gospel movie, did that make you want to stay in the gospel field, or did you want to break out and do other genres?
Well, I mean, Sister Act wasn't really a gospel movie.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
We just.
I'm saying that because it was in the church. It's based on.
Yeah. Well, the only thing it was set. The setting was a Catholic school. That's about it. But that ain't gospel.
Gotcha.
Tyler Perry movies be gospel movies. Like Sister Act 2.
I see you. I got you.
Yeah. Sister Act 2 was nowhere near a gospel movie. It was a Disney movie. You know what I mean? But it because of that, it never even dawned on me to want to be a gospel artist or anything like that. I think it's just that Sister Act 2 was so widely embraced by the gospel community that one would think it was a gospel film or that I was a gospel artist. You know what I mean? But that was never the case.
Absolutely. And of course, we're in the day and age of, remakes and reboots. And I heard they wanted to remake Sister Act 2 and have, Lauren play a teacher and then bring back the old cast. Some of them, was that a thing? Was that actually going to happen?
I've heard so much. I mean, people have been talking about that for years, you know what I mean? But I never really seen any real traction. I mean, if they wanted to do it, I definitely would be open to reprising my role or coming back on as some type of guidance counselor or something, whatever they would want me to do. I'll be ready, that's for sure. You know what I mean? So, I'm definitely down to do it. But I heard a couple people talking about they were trying to get something going with that, but I don't know how real it is. We'll see.
That would actually be dope. People would be expecting you to hit another high note. They were like, he get to do it. Let's go.
Right.
That's gonna get on your nerves, though, bro. So,
right.
Well, okay. So after Sister Act, which came out in like '93, it was a couple years before we saw you again. So between that gap of Sister Act and City High, what was going on in your life at that point?
Between that gap, I was like going on some more auditions, trying to land some other film roles and stuff like that. Didn't really land anything major. Just landed a cameo appearance in this movie called Prison Song.
With Q-Tip, right?
Q-Tip, Mary J. Blige. Yeah, I landed that, and then I started working down at Jazzy Jeff's studio, A Touch of Jazz Productions. I started working down there and started doing a lot of writing with his camp and his producers. And we started working, doing a whole lot of stuff. I did some writing for a couple of TV shows, like as far as musically, and then also worked with Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish. Also worked with Will Smith while I was down there working with Jeff.
Yeah, you did. You did something on Miami, right?
Well, I wrote Miami. I wrote that song.
Wow.
Yeah, Miami. That was one of 4 songs that I wrote on that album, on that Big Willie style album that Will Smith put out back in '98, I think it was.
Yeah, like 98, something like that.
Yeah,
man, you out here penning classic records, man. That record gets played, so I know every time they get played, man, you get that Cash App. You get that,
Absolutely. He's like the Cash App.
and you get that. You're like, oh, they playing it on the radio. Bling, got it. Let's go.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh man, so yeah, so between that, okay, so you started getting more into songwriting, started producing, still, auditioning for roles, and then your opportunity finally comes up, and that's the group City High.
Yeah,
So,
that was, yeah, go ahead.
That your song "What Would You Do" was actually featured on the Life soundtrack, but we didn't get an album for y'all for what, another 2 years. Why is that?
Yeah, I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. I mean, we at the time, I think Wyclef and R. Kelly were co-executive producing the Life soundtrack. So
Okay.
R. Kelly was responsible for half the album, and Wyclef was responsible for half the album. And R. Kelly was, he put some of his artists, and he did all the songs he did, and then Wyclef was featuring his artists on the half of the album that he did. And I think our song "What Would You Do" was supposed to come out as a single off that soundtrack, but I think R. Kelly put out the song with Maxwell or something like that, and obviously that trumped our song, so we just had to wait at that point. And it ended up being 2 years, and then we finally the record label Interscope just finally put our song out on its own.
Okay, because I remember seeing Life in theaters. I'm like, yo, because y'all was the closing song. I'm like, okay, let's go. The people was like, when the album coming out, and then like for a whole 2 years, I'm like, okay, and then the song finally comes out. We're like, oh, I heard this before. It was on Life.
Yeah.
Like, damn, they finally dropping this, because I compared that to Monica for You I Will, because she was on the Space Jam soundtrack, but we didn't get that song on her album for another 2 years till The Boy Is Mine dropped. So I'm like, I was wondering why the delay? Did they want to save y'all for, the time? Okay.
It just happens like that sometimes.
Exactly. So a lot of people, compare City High to a Fugees, to a break off Fugees group, like 2 men, a woman. Everybody can sing and rap. Like you can do either or. Did y'all get a lot of comparisons to the Fugees, or?
Not only because we were signed to Wyclef's label.
Okay.
Wyclef Jerry Wonder's Book Basement label. So, and that was the whole plan. There was no secret around that. Wyclef was like, "Yo, I'm gonna make y'all my little mini Fugees group." You know what I mean? So, but ironically, we didn't get a whole lot of comparison because we were different. The Fugees were more like rappers. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like a real rap. They were more, rugged rap group. You know what I mean? They had dreadlocks and they was like backpack rap group. We were like singing and happy and bright. You know what I mean? So we didn't really get a lot of comparison.
Did you ever get a chance to work with Lauren again, since Wyclef had something to do with y'all? Was she kind of like, yo?
No, Lauren was. They had gone their separate ways. So
by then, okay.
Yeah, I hadn't seen. We didn't get to see Lauren. I haven't seen Lauren in years.
Okay. So y'all came out with the album. It blew up. Like y'all had "What Would You Do," of course, still gets played to this day. And you had caramel, however people say it. People say caramel 2 different ways.
Right.
But what was the writing process for that album? Like, was it difficult being in a group, or did you like being solo more so often? Like,
the only difficult thing was like you have to consider, when you're writing, you got to write for other people too. You got to consider, like any other time I'm writing, I'm just writing what I want to say, and then I go in there and record it and be done. But it's like, you got to write it, for other people to sing, and oh man, I got to remember to put a part in for this person, put a part in for that person. So that was the only tricky part.
But it made your writing stronger, because you're like, okay, I know I can write for other people now. So now I can. Got you. Okay. So did y'all have like a long tour schedule after that album? Did y'all go on the road for a while?
Yeah, we were on the road for like 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Yeah, we were out all the time. We were doing a lot of shows back to back to back.
Okay. So what's a collaboration you wish that could have happened but didn't?
With who? City High?
Just like either by yourself or with City High. Like, is there anybody y'all want to collaborate with, or you and you was like, damn, I wish that would have happened, but it didn't.
Well, I mean, I still want a Beyonce song, but that can still happen. So
It could.
I'm still waiting on that day.
Definitely awesome, man. Because like I said, we've listened to you, we've listened to your songs over the years, and what was your influence, as far as writing and performing? Who did you look up to growing up?
Michael Jackson and Prince, absolutely. I mean, that was number 1 and 2 for me. Always those two guys made me want to be an artist, made me want to be a performer. Stevie Wonder made me want to be more of a better writer. When I listened to like Donny Hathaway, he made me want to be a better singer. And yeah, but like, I mean, even Lionel Richie at that time in the 80s when I was young, and MTV was popping and stuff. It was like Lionel Richie was big, Michael Jackson was big, and Prince was big. So those are like the 3 guys that made me want to be like dancing across the stage and, you know what I mean, performing at the Grammys and stuff like that.
Got you, man. And we're in the day and age of versus battles now, since quarantine going on and everything. So who do you think y'all can compete with in the versus battle? I know you have to have like 10 hits or whatever, but I think y'all could y'all should be mentioning the versus battle. Honestly, who do you think y'all can go up against?
Who, City High?
Yes.
Well, City High only had 1 single, so
y'all had 2. Come on now.
Singles. So yeah, we only had 2 singles and 1 album, so I wouldn't want to go again. When you go in versus battles, it's because you got a deep catalog.
You do. People still gonna throw you in one. They're like, man, look at that. Like, they still throwing people into ones that shouldn't happen. There's a lot of versus battles that shouldn't happen. But I'm like, I can see this hit going up against that one.
What versus battles did you see that shouldn't happen?
I mean, honestly, like the Patty and Gladys one came out of side for me. I'm like, where'd this come from? Like, I thought it was a hoax. I'm like, it's cool it happened, but I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see that happening. But I was like, I'll catch the next one. It's another one too that happened. Like, I enjoyed the Nelly and Ludacris one, but I thought I still think they're in 2 different categories. I think Ludacris should have went up against T.I. That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
So it's a couple of ones I'm like, I can see that, but I didn't really enjoy it. Now the best one was the Beanie Man one. I enjoyed that one.
But I mean, all the artists that you just named, though, they all got an extensive catalog of albums. So,
right.
You know what I mean? City High only had 1 album. What are we going to battle with?
Hey. Here's the thing. Like, y'all songs still hit this day. Like, you don't have to have an extensive catalog. You use that one song you remember for forever. Now, moving on to this day and age, you got people that are dropping songs that I don't think would be played, in a while from now. Like, they're gonna be forgotten. But when What Would You Do comes on, you like, okay, I'm gonna sing this joint. Like, nigga, what would I do if my son was home? Like, you gonna be like, okay.
Yeah, no doubt. Nah, I feel you.
Now, why only 2 singles from the album? That was just it?
Yeah, the label was ready to move on to the next. They were ready to get another project done. You know what I mean? They didn't want to spend any more money promoting that album. So we put out the 2 singles, and they did what they did, and then the label was ready to move on to the next album.
Okay, so there was a next album like going to happen. Like, why? Like, I mean,
well, we started recording. We started recording the second album, but the group broke up while we were recording, so the album never came out.
Okay, so y'all did record some tracks for the next album. You just didn't.
Yeah, we recorded a whole album, but it never came out.
Damn. Okay. Just, I mean, like I said, we know the story. We know what happened. Do you want to touch on that a little bit, or like on how City High broke up, or?
I mean, it ain't really much to touch on. Everybody know the story.
they know the story. We've heard Claudette's version, and we seen Robbie on, I forgot what show that was on. Intervention. So it is like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like we hear it, we like, nah, that's not true. But we're like, that's why the group broke up. And did you, was your intentions to like, it was that to, you
Break
know,
up my group?
right?
No.
No, not that. No, no, like, was you like, did everything seem right at the time? Was you like, man, she's with him, but like, she's not happy, and like, she's gonna come over here with me? Was that the case, or?
Oh no, they had broke up. They weren't together. I mean,
Okay.
when she and I started dating, they had been broke up.
Okay, because you know, he motherfuckers was making it seem like, yo, they was together, you came in, was like, yo, bam, now she's with me,
Oh,
type of thing.
yeah. I mean, I don't, people think whatever they want to think. I don't know. I don't care.
I understand. I understand. You know, I put up a poll, people
and
asked,
and
I'm like,
I mean, my nigga, that shit was so long ago.
it was.
I don't even know if anybody even cares anymore. Like that shit was like 20 years ago.
Do will there ever kind of be a City High reunion of some sorts? Like, would that ever happen?
Nah,
No.
nah, not at this stage. Nah.
Okay. When you perform, do you perform the songs by
Mm-mm.
yourself, or you don't
No,
perform songs at all?
no.
He's like, no, fuck it, no, I don't.
No. It's unnecessary.
I feel you. I mean, shit, people break up, and then, you know, artists, they go, you know, do other renditions of their songs. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I used to a little bit, but it's not the same without the three. So,
I
you just
understand.
you got to move on, man. We were so young back then, like, you know what I
Y'all was
mean?
young. Y'all was young as hell. Y'all were.
Yeah, like, so it's no need to try to keep that going. You know what I mean? It's like, move on. You know, it was a great moment in time and let it be what it was. Like, you no need to trying to recreate it.
Because motherfuckers, like, you let them choose your song. They be like, okay, they'll ask for a set list. They be like, can you sing Joyful Joyful at your concert? You be
Yeah,
like, why would I sing that? I need a whole
right.
choir.
Yeah, right.
I understand, bro. I really do. So now it is the year 2020. What are you working on now, bro? You said a Christmas album. You got anything else?
Yeah. Well, I just dropped 10 albums over in the spring from like April 3rd, April 5th to like June 3rd. I put out 10 albums called Songs for the Lockdown, volumes 1 through 10. It's like 80 records. And yeah, that was the main thing I did over the spring. And then now I'm getting geared up to put out a few more new albums. And this Christmas album is one of them. I have a project that I did with a young producer artist that I signed named Kawhi, and the name of the project is Trophy. I'm gonna release that, and then I have these other 2 albums I'm gonna release, and then I'm gonna put out my Christmas album and get ready for the top of the year.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. Because is it going to be streaming on you know, Spotify and YouTube Music? Is it going to be on there? No.
Nah, I'm putting out CDs. It's like, no, just wait. Yeah, it's gonna be streaming everywhere, man. What you mean?
But there's you know how many music, you know how much music isn't streaming? Like, it's certain albums that's on certain, it's certain shit on
Nah.
title.
I'm just messing with you, man. Yeah,
I know.
yeah, nah, it's gonna be streamed. Yeah, I'm gonna have it. It's gonna be available everywhere,
Okay,
all streaming platforms for sure.
because you know, some platforms you can't find certain Prince albums and Jay-Z
Yeah,
titles. So I'm like, okay, which one is it? Okay,
Yeah, nah, it's gonna be everywhere.
awesome. And you're still auditioning for movie roles and whatnot?
Actually, right now I'm just focusing on creating my own content. Really, you know what I mean. I'm gonna start doing some more, YouTube content as, you know what I mean. Some writing some stuff for that. I actually been approached by a couple of some young producers, film producers and stuff that are talking about some projects, but it's a little too early for me to speak on those things right now. But yeah, I'm definitely keeping those doors open. I'm just, having fun, living life and putting out records, man.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. I'm glad you're staying busy. Everything, like I said, we grew up with you. You're a legend to me. Like, you wrote so many hits, like from the Will Smiths. I hope you get your Beyonce collab, because I know you looking forward to that. We're gonna catch you on the next album in the desert in Africa somewhere, because you know
Thank
she's
you, brother.
really, like, she majestic as fuck right now. Like, I'm like, yo, this. she went from bills to yo, I'm about to own my own continent type shit. Like that's that's wild, bro. Oh man, so are you a fan of comedy?
Yeah, absolutely.
You are okay. Could you see yourself getting on stage and telling some jokes?
Nah, I respect the craft too much to get up there and play myself because I respect what comedians do, and I know that it takes a whole lot more than just getting up there and thinking you funny just because you funny at your barbecues at home. So I
Absolutely.
respect.
Because you know how social media is, man. You get a million views on anything. Comedy clubs are calling like, "Yo, we gotta have you headline. Like, forget
Yeah,
everybody else that been working hard at this. Yo, you got the views." So
yeah.
that's what we got to battle against. But man, what's something like that you enjoy seeing on social media that's hilarious? Like you got everything. Like I'm
I
one of
like
the
Kev on stage.
you like Kevin
I like
Sage?
Kev on
Okay.
stage. Yeah, and I like Tony Baker, and I like I Am Dulo. Those are my three favorites right now.
Man, it's Tony Baker be killing me with that skip that DDD shit. That shit be
Yeah.
I swear to God, if I trip in front of this guy, I'm going to delete my entire social media. Do you have any advice for new and up and coming writers and singers? Anything to help them stay on the right path with their career path?
Um, Best advice I could say is just stay true to yourself. Make sure you get a lawyer to read over your contracts. You know, don't sign anything without a lawyer, without reading your contract.
That's damn right because it's too many seasons of unsung from bad deals. So y'all need to get y'all shit.
Right.
Oh man, hey man, I really appreciate you, man. Hey, tell people where to follow you on social media at, man.
Absolutely. So on IG, it's at Ryan Toby Ryan, RyanTobyRyan. Facebook is Ryan Toby. Twitter is Ryan Toby Ryan.
Excellent, excellent, man. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Love to Laugh podcast, man. My special guest, man, he dropped some jewels on me. He dropped some jewels on y'all. I appreciate y'all for listening. You will see much more of him, so make sure you stay tuned. Follow him on social media, and make sure you follow the Love to Laugh podcast. I'm Marlon Ballard. Thank you so much.